What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Mr. Show Out TV Recovery Talk. And today we're gonna take a deep dive into the moral compass of others, the individuals in sobriety. We're gonna take a deep dive into their thoughts. We're gonna take a deep dive into the certain individuals that do not want to try to uplift you in recovery and our sobriety people, but rather try to quiet the ones that are the ones who don't want to do. So that's what we're doing, everybody. Okay, we're gonna jump right in it.
Like I said, it's just my thing is
I'm trying to help these young people. You know, I've done eventual.
As far as we go, a lot of our friends dead. They are dead. God froze up on my hand too. But I also want to tell you this.
we don't talk abuse. We don't talk about those things because deep down it's been generationally passed down to us that ain't nobody trying to hear your motherfucking problems.
Are you going to the ball with me? Don't be scared, it's real. No more dreaming dreams. Now we're living dreams. Put out all the homies, want you, boy, you want me. The ball I ever taken, you know I'm a you. Hope you're right ever since I let you in. You're my first and my last, and whatever in between. It was on.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Recovery Talk. It is I, Mr. Show Out TV. And today we're taking a deep dive into the moral compass of individuals, right? Everybody know my story. So my story is this, everyone. The last year and a half has been very, very, very grateful to me. Very, very, very grateful, everyone. So, with the addition of my son, me meeting wonderful people while I'm doing this, we got two good guest speakers in the studio today. They're going to bring it to also. And me meeting great people, me going to school, me being sober. I don't understand the moral compass of others that ain't really want to try to uplift you. They really trying to, I guess, silence the voice of the ones that want to help. In other words, the reason I'm saying this is, I guess they want me to do my recovery in silence instead of on YouTube. But see, I'm gonna just jump right in. But this is what I don't understand is because you got certain individuals out here that want me to do it like them. See, the thing is, I'm not like you. What works for you works for you. This is my vice. This is what I love to do. This is what's keeping me clean. So that should be the only thing that matters, right? But we got other individuals out there that rather prefer me to do your sobriety to yourself. How long is how long? How long should you be able to speak when you in sobriety, when you in recovery? Is there a time limit on when that? That's what we're talking about today, y'all. Better yet, we're talking about like slick hating and stuff like that. So today I want to introduce y'all. We got Lynn Jones into the studio today. And we got my boy Richie Valor himself in the studio today. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about, y'all. The moral compass of others. We're going to jump off into some other details as well. I'm going to ask y'all some other questions. But lately, y'all, I just want y'all to piggyback off of what I'm saying. Lately, Lynn and Richie, it's like when I go live, I get a lot of good feedback from a lot of people. But certain individuals will constantly message me like, I love what you are doing, but you need to take your sobriety serious. Ain't that's what I'm doing? See, this is my outlet. Yeah, this is my outlet. They rather me do my sobriety in silence. Look, next month will be a year for me being sober. Yeah. Shouldn't that be the only thing that matters to them? Shouldn't that be the only thing that matters? Now, I ain't gonna put out any names. They probably know who they are. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, because every time I go live, I get a message saying, okay, we love you and I love you in this, but you need to stop with the YouTube. It seemed like the only thing is in her mind is that she sees the movement and see what I am doing. And she's kind of scared of that movement. Instead of just being like, you know what? I love the way that you are doing it. And if that's making you comfortable, if you happy and you staying clean like that, then I'm all in. Instead of you need to start with the YouTube, trying to be YouTube famous. That is not what we're doing today, Mr. Show Out TV. So that's I'm gonna start off with you, Lynn. Why don't people in recovery, especially the ones that in recovery with you or have been in recovery, they want to shun down on the ones that pretty much, okay, I got this YouTube channel. I'm not doing this to get famous, y'all. Y'all know it. Lynn, you know I didn't start like this. I started just to share my message, right? But why do we have ones that's in back of their mind, you doing it to be YouTube famous instead of he's actually doing this and he being clean. So let's just celebrate that. Why do we have that? Oh, I can't hear you, Lynn. I can't hear you, Lynn. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Jump back in, Lynn. I can't hear you.
Oh no.
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you, Rich. I can't hear you, Lynn. Hold on just 1 minute. I think I know what it is.
All right. Can you hear me, Richie?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now. There we
Okay.
go.
And now Richie's gone.
I'm
Oh,
right
there he
here.
is. So I think the reason why it seems that some individuals do shun others when it comes to delivering messages is because people have a different way of healing, and we speak in different languages once we get to a certain level of therapy. Just like when it comes to music, some people only hear the violence in the music, but the artist is talking about the traumas that he's been through, and it's therapeutic. You're doing a show about your
That's the key
testimony,
word.
your
Yes.
life, your journey that
Right.
happens to be something that's very familiar with other individuals. Now, the people that have a problem with it, do you think they might feel guilty? Because while you were on that journey, did they go to the extent to, you know what I'm saying, help you? Were they the ones that were enabling the situation? Did they make the situation worse? Do they feel guilty? Because sometimes people feel guilty, so they're not able to heal. And everyone has an addiction, whether it's lying, sex, food. You know what I'm saying? There's always
Mhm.
something. Greed, anger. There's people that are addicted to being fucking angry.
Right.
They
I
don't
know a
know what
couple
peace
people like
looks,
that.
you know? So when it
Hmm.
comes to you, it's like, I don't like the way that you're trying to be famous on YouTube. You're
Yeah, I don't get
only
that.
going live.
Exactly.
People follow you. And what
That.
people don't understand about what celebrity means, you don't have to do anything to be a celebrity. It's about people that are gravitating to you. That's it. Just like reality TV. Look at all these people that are celebrities and they haven't done anything. People have gravitated to them. They
Hmm.
had a platform and individuals gravitated to them.
Right. Yeah, that's really something else because there's when I do this live and everything, I'm not doing this. Y'all already know this. I know y'all two individuals very well. You know my story. I just didn't get off. I don't understand the simple fact that instead of messaging me that you okay, I understand what you're doing and I like the concept of what you're doing because you're really touching and you're really reaching others. But in the back of your mind, I think that's really only thing that's in their head is that you doing this to be YouTube famous and you need to focus on your sobriety and say that is what I'm doing. This is my vice. I don't understand. Like this is my vice. This is what's keep me comfortable. Me speaking and talking to y'all. See, right now, a lot of people in addiction that will probably have this situation probably wouldn't be talking to others. See, this is what I do. This is you see what I mean? This is my outlet.
Mhm.
So I can come to y'all and tell y'all what's on my mind and get some good, some good
You know,
feedback from you all.
I
Yeah.
have,
I have a
not to
question for
interrupt.
Richie.
Oh,
Hmm. You
what?
can go ahead, Richie. Yeah.
All right. So instead of wondering why and and like being confused by it, you need to ask them, be like, I don't understand what you're saying to me, and I need you to explain to me why you're asking me this. You shouldn't ask yourself, why are they upset that you're trying to be quote unquote YouTube famous? Because at
Right.
the end of the day, I've had plenty of people be like, why are you doing music? Why is this? Why is that? And I don't show them any type of anything because, like, even being on the show right now with us being like, yo, I don't understand why these people are doing this, this, and that. They got something out of you.
Right.
They
Yeah, you're
literally
right.
they
You're right.
literally took that emotion from you and were like, huh, give me that. And they're like, now he's talking about it.
Right. You're
So
right.
at the end of the day, those people that are saying that, the question should be, what are you doing for your life that you're so worried about mine? I
Yeah.
don't understand. And why are you asking me that?
Right. You're totally right. You're totally right on that because I don't understand that situation myself. But really, like you said, I shouldn't be getting them the energy at all. but
I'd be like, why do you drink
but
water? Why
I
do you do
know, but
this?
it's just something
Stop
I just
drinking
wanted
from
to.
the faucet and start drinking from the bottled water. Like it's stupid.
I don't want that to see. You know, like you
Now,
said, you really. You can go ahead, Lynn.
you just answered my question because you've spoken to me about your past, your history, and your journey as well. And when I work with a lot of musicians, especially the great musicians, to me, the individuals that have the most passion are the ones that went through the most shit.
Uh,
And it's usually their families that don't understand what they're talking about. They're like, oh, well, why don't you, give up on that music stuff? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing shows? Why are you talking to people? It's because they don't understand and they don't know you anymore. They know the old you. They know the person that you used to be. So now
yeah.
that you're growing, you're developing, and you created a therapy for yourself, that person is unrecognizable. So now you're speaking a different language. You're at a different frequency. So you're not, Mr. Show Out TV. You are my old little brother that was a drug addict. Who do you think you are? You're an ex-drug addict. The same
Right.
way that they look at, ex-cons. You get a convict, goes to jail, does his time, pays that restitution to the state, the county, the feds, whatever it is. They're supposed to get out with a clean slate, but
Amen.
they're still looked at as an ex-con because
Absolutely.
people will accept an individual that changed their sex and not a person that is changing their future according to the past that they had.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
so right about
And
that.
That's a whole fact.
people
I know
learn how.
that's the truth. But it's sad, it's sad that it comes to that. It's sad that it comes to that, but I guess that where we at in society as well, it's really come to a fact of okay, instead of saying what you're saying, why don't you just say what it is that you really want to say? Don't come around me with that. I'm
They don't know how,
happy for you. Yeah, but then on the back end, you need to stop what you're doing. What make that make sense to me?
but
You know
Make
what?
they
that
don't know how.
You
it
know,
don't
I
make sense.
I
Think
come
about
Right.
it.
to terms as a musician when I'm writing a song. I do it a lot. I listen to a lot of people's. Sometimes I listen to a lot of people's music, and sometimes I don't. But while I'm listening to people's music, something catches my ear, and I'm like, I like that. And then I'm in the studio and I'm writing, and I'm like, I'm trying to sound like this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get that wave. And then I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I trying to do that? So then I start
You
writing my
got
song.
lost.
I got lost. So then I start writing my song. And then I listen to my song. I'm like, this is corny. Like, why am I even writing about this? And sometimes I forget why I do music. And then I have to bring myself back to reality. And I'm like, you're doing music because you went through something really hard and you're now sober and you're trying to get people towards that recovery. And I get so caught up into like what the world wants, and I forget about me.
Right.
See, everybody, the world and America now today, it's so backwards. Everyone's doing so wrong, so many wrong things, and they want everyone to follow that. And it even gets caught up in my mind, so that when someone comes along and they're like, well, why are you talking about this? This is lame. And it's like, I'm talking about it because it was my life. If you think my life is lame, you can go somewhere else. You can click play, you can push pause. And it's almost the same thing as them saying, like, why are you doing YouTube? It's keeping me sober, brother. Like it's you know what I mean?
It's keeping me
So we
occupied.
Exactly.
right. So we have to remember at the end of the day why we're doing it.
Right.
So when someone like so instead of someone being like, why are you on YouTube? Stop doing YouTube. We got to sit back and be like, I'm not trying to be like these people, and I'm not even trying to please you. I'm trying to find people that are trying to be in recovery. So
That's
while I'm doing music,
Mhm.
like I have a song called Up and Down that I just like I'm about to drop it.
Right.
It's literally talks about like I'm up and down with my emotions, things that I've been through, being one of the realest people you'll ever meet. Talks about I think I have a little bit of my past drug addiction in there
Mhm.
and stuff. And before that song, I wanted to put out some song about what I used to do with selling drugs and doing drugs and stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I'm here for. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Right.
So I'm not, and I got caught up in that stuff because someone came to me and they're like, bro, you could blow if you were sounding like this person or sounding like that person. Why are you doing it like that? So you saying that person was like, why are you doing it on YouTube? You should need to stop doing it on YouTube really struck something in me for that in my mind was like, dang, I just went through that. So
Right.
everyone goes through it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like
Well, I
that's what.
think that
Mhm.
when you when you just mentioned the societal norms and how everything is just like backwards now,
Yeah.
and that does play a lot into how people view the individuals that they used to know,
Mhm.
because society doesn't really give us the opportunity to see change. Everything is like a popcorn. We don't see
Mhm.
the transition. We just see everything is great. Everything is amazing. Everything is new. Everything is brand new. So people saw you at your worst, and then they see you at your heights. So they don't to see the stuff in the middle, because society has taken that away. We've replaced emotions and empathy and sympathy with emoticons.
Yeah.
So now when it's time to be a real person, to say, you know what, I'm digging your music. I haven't heard anything like that. Or, it sounds different, but I'm definitely sure that it's going to connect with someone. They're going to say, you know what, I can't shake my ass to that. I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
That's trash. Because they want to shake their ass, because societal norms says that shaking ass music is popular. There's
Yeah,
nothing really,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
I've listened to I was listening to the radio the other day, and there's a song that I hate when they play in the club. Um, how's it go? What would you do if your son was at home crying all night in the bedroom floor because he's hungry, and the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man and a little bit of money because his dad is gone? And it's like the
Yeah.
song is so tragic, and they play it in the club, and people are like, and it's like,
Right.
because I grew up in that type of environment, not knowing, you know what I'm saying, when your parents were going to come back, not knowing
Yeah,
when
my
you're,
dad would say he's going to get checker burgers, come back a month later, and the bank account's all empty and shit.
listen, it was Christmas Eve, I think. I saw my biological dad. He was helping us move into our new house. I didn't see him again for like 5 years. Okay.
That's yeah.
And then
My
when
dad,
I saw
yeah.
him again, it was like, hey, wow, you look great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
like every time I hear that song in the club and I'm playing it in my head, and people are in there and they're like, oh yeah, this is my jam. And I'm like, are
You
you
sat back
listening
in
to
reality like, no, this ain't cool.
right? And someone actually, I was in a club, and the girl that I was with, she was actually like shoving me, like my shoulders, like I was in a zone, because I'm listening to the song and I'm damn near crying,
Mhm.
because society, they have never experienced those things, and they're listening to the beat, they're listening to the rhythm, they're not listening to the words. But
That's
there's
all it is
so many of
anymore.
us that have things, and it's so traumatic. And it's songs like that that give us those humble moments, because I'm almost 40. I never thought in a million years I would have a house of my own.
I hear
I
you.
never thought I would have a vehicle of my own. Like, we would befriend other kids in the neighborhood for air conditioning.
Bro, I
You know what
get
I'm saying?
it. I used to put
Like,
Fabuloso
you
on the
know, like
stove if
people
my
used
house
to come.
smelled bad.
Boy, you silly
Like,
boy.
people don't understand.
I know people that still do that right now.
I used to open my oven. I would open my oven if I was hot or cold as shit, bro.
Right.
No cap.
Listen,
Like I
Right.
grew up.
I remember those days. The gas is off, the electricity is off, we have candles lit. You know,
You
it's
wake up,
Christmas
your
time.
toes are
People don't know
crunched. You're
that
mad.
our
You're like,
electricity is
bro.
off.
You
Right.
so right.
People don't know that our electricity is off. They just think it's holiday time and you got the freaking lights up and shit. The oven is freaking open. And when I hear stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I never heard another song from this group again.
You know,
Two, there's so many other genres of music that's therapeutic. So what's the difference between therapeutic music and a therapeutic ministry? You have a therapeutic ministry. You're utilizing a platform to minister your testimony to other individuals as a pathway to their recovery. And it's amazing.
Thank you so much. You know, I had one guest speaker on the show. Her name was Miss Connie, and she's like a minister herself. But I think this was like the third show in when I was just starting to go live. You know, and she told me, she was like, you know, I was telling her that, you know, I told you this too, man. I said, you know, I'm just doing this for the ones that are still in the same situation I am. Maybe I can reach out to them, or you know, maybe I can just touch somebody. I really wasn't doing it for anything else. But like she was telling me, she was like, actually, what you're doing is a ministry, and you don't even know it. See, I didn't even know. I didn't know that. But you
yeah,
know,
bro.
yeah,
You're giving an outlet. Like you're like the plug, right? And people are plugging into you to catch charge, to, so to speak. That's the ministry. You're on your pulpit. This is your pulpit. And fuck whoever told you why YouTube. YouTube's your pulpit, dog. Stand on that.
right on. And that's why I wanted to have y'all on my show.
And
I
you're
know y'all
offering.
was gonna, yeah, I know. Say it again. I knew y'all was gonna have my
And
back
it's
on
your
that.
offering plate.
Thank you so much. You know, like I said, I'm not
Well,
you know,
funny
it
story.
just it's just the message for me. You know what I mean? Like right now, just like my vice, I know I can reach out to y'all. I know I can send y'all a message real quick and be like, look, I got this on my mind. I would love to get y'all feedback. Can y'all jump on here with me so we can just explain this? Or better yet, like Richard was saying, me and you was kind of in the same situation. See how that kind of worked out? You know, we
Yeah.
talking about it now. You know, so
You know,
hey, there's a go. There's a go. I got another question, man. We gonna just jump off that right now, but like
Real
to that
quick,
one person, look, this is my
1
vice.
second.
Like it or love it. You don't have to come on YouTube and watch it. You can easily unfriend yourself or do
just tell
whatever
them
it is
kick
you have to
rocks.
do.
Kick rocks.
Because this is my outlet. This is my vice. This is what I love to do. I still love you, but this is my vice.
So,
Welcome to Mr. Show Out TV. Yeah. Okay, we gonna jump off there, y'all. But like I want to say, I want to ask y'all this: why has you know, since the government and everything like that, they pushes the their focus on the illicit drug, the main drugs. How has prescription drugs became the new like drug of choice? Painkillers.
Well,
they're not the new drug of choice.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say
it's
they're
They're not
been
not.
the new
there.
drug of
Yeah, let
choice.
me rephrase that. Yeah, it's
In
been there. Yeah.
2000 it was 2006
Hmm.
through maybe like 2000 and like 14. They were huge.
11.
they were giving it to high schoolers were getting them, and I can say that because. Go ahead. Yeah, Roxy's. Yeah, so us high schoolers and kids, I didn't like it because I wasn't with the downers. I always liked the uppers.
Mm-hmm.
So like high schoolers were getting them. They're so easy because parents were getting them.
Mm-hmm.
So they were seeing other people, and then other people were talking about putting it in their drinks, like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was talking about lean and dropping Xanax in his lean, and everyone thought it was cool because he made a name for it. And they're like, I forget what the heck he used to call it, but like whatever he called it. But kids were thinking it was cool, and they were putting this through music and through all of this. So they were mainstreaming it, and then people were getting hooked to it, and then trying to figure a way out to get a script, and then boom, America got them.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. That's a very, very big thing.
It's
okay, Lynn. Yeah, you can go, Lynn.
I was in Florida. When the prescription drug situation got like extra exploited.
I was living in Daytona.
It was what? Me too. I
lived off James Street in South Daytona by PPU.
I was at MLK.
I went to Campbell Middle School.
I love your whole life, Richie.
Yeah. Yo, I used to go Bethune-Cookman Grill. What you know about Bethune-Cookman?
We make connections on Mr. Show Out, though.
Yo, you been to Bethune-Cookman Grill with their honey hot wings, yo?
Yes.
What? Round from the hood.
With a C grade score on the wall, okay? It will have a whole C grade on the wall, and the whole town still eats there.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I was going to go to Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune is an amazing school. So when I was in Daytona, between Daytona, Fort Pierce, West Palm Beach, those are my little, stomping grounds. And I was working in the hospital doing phlebotomy. I worked all through high school. And I worked in the emergency room. So I had access to a lot of emergency room reports. I was the one that knew that so-and-so's girlfriend was pregnant by somebody else and she was lying because I was nosy. I'm all up into people's computer. And when a lot of kids started getting busted for having drugs, I was able to look in the computers and I'm like, where are they getting this stuff from? And a lot of them were getting it from their parents because their parents were, he doesn't know how to act. He has ADHD. He doesn't know how to sit down. He's acting up in class. And then the doctors prescribing the meds. Kids running off, taking them, telling them. You know what I'm saying? Breaking into stores and robbing the pharmacies and all types of stuff.
Yo, my boy is the one. Yo, my boy cut there was the CVS in Daytona that got the wall cut out. I know the people behind that.
But I would like to ask, what is it like, okay, well, we could take a look into, like, is it a lot easier today, like right now, is the present moment, than it has been getting prescription drugs? Is it a lot easier now?
No. It was easier when it first started. See, look, what happened was Florida became the capital of pills because of Orlando. Orlando has a strip of doctors. So what was happening was doctors were able to have the MRIs in the same building. So what we were doing was we would get fake MRIs and then we would fake a crash and throw a motorcycle off the back of a truck. It was me and the Anatones and shit. We had this city on lock. So anyhow, we would then go get the prescription. It would be like $300 to $500 for the prescription. You would get blues. They first started off with like $300 for blues, and then they give you some Xanax. So what we would do is we'd run them to Maryland, and we'd go to doctor before they all linked them together. Then they started linking the doctors together, and they're like, you can only get one prescription a month. So then people stopped doctor shopping, is what they called it. So then they tighten it down even more. They're like, no 300, we're going to drop it to 250. So then they cut it again, and they dropped it to 200, and cut it again. I don't even know what it's at now. But now they're looking into people's prescriptions and looking at cameras in the parking lots, making sure people aren't picking other people up, because then we got the bright idea to start buying other people's prescriptions. We would buy their MRIs, we buy their doctor appointment, and then we buy the prescription, give them the Xanax, and make all our money back and then some. So, but nowadays,
Now, at
they're
one
putting,
point, the doctors in Florida, they didn't have a limit to how much prescriptions they can write for narcotics.
right.
Now they do. The entire United States has a limit to how many prescriptions they can write because of the physicians in the state of Florida.
Yep. Yep.
Like, Florida really is about the money. And there are tiers now. So physicians have to have a certain tier in order to write prescriptions for certain classes of medication. And you would have a freaking dermatologist who write you a prescription for oxycodone.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do that anymore. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and then they had the corner
But-
stores that were giving out blues, and then they started giving them out at their doctor shops. It was crazy.
Yep. And
Yeah,
I
well,
think before it was the rich adults that were getting high on the prescription. It wasn't a problem until those white children were getting this prescription, now selling them with their black friends, and it turned
Yeah,
into a
dude, it was
thing.
bad.
But when it was, controlled, it was different, because
Right.
Johnny didn't have a problem. Johnny was just hanging around with the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Johnny doesn't have a problem. Johnny's just spoiled, and my husband works a lot. You know, so we're just gonna take him from this school and we're gonna put him over here in this. You know what I'm saying? Everything was in denial mode. But as the cultures begin to clash and energies begin to clash, now you got people saying like, okay, so you guys do this over there too? It's not just a hood thing? You guys do this in the suburbs? Oh, so this is just cool. Like, this is what everybody's doing.
I noticed
Then
that.
it's like, okay, cool. We don't give a damn.
I noticed that.
It used to be very controlled.
Um,
Yeah. And what you
I
mean
used
by
to sell dope only to.
yeah, Lynn, I want to ask you this, and let the viewers all know what you mean by when you said it used to be controlled in that aspect.
All right, someone has a bad connection because I can't hear any.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
on
can you hear me now?
5 bars.
Can you hear me now, Lynn?
All right, say that one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
I was to the viewers out there. Can you explain to them
Yes.
when you said the word controlled? Explain to them what you mean by that.
Well, when I say controlled, I mean that when people have children and relatives that are drug addicts and they're getting high on the medication that I left in my drawer, the medication that I have in my car, that means that I'm the adult and I'm responsible for that. So that's not going to be gone through the proper chains of commands. That's going to be for my brother-in-law, you know what I'm saying? My sister's husband, that's a physician, that can help me out with that. My cousin, that's a police officer, can help me out with that, because I'm the one with the drug problem. I'm the one that's taking Adderall with my wine because I'm in law school. Now my daughters are stealing my medication. So my daughters can't have a problem, because if they have a problem, it's going to be my responsibility. Because a lot of those medications, especially like the Adderalls and the Xanax and all that other stuff, those were considered smart people medications.
Right.
The average intellectuals with high IQs usually have some sort of deficit issue. So that's why they have downers. So that's the doctors, the lawyers, the surgeons, the individuals that have those high intellect skill jobs.
Right.
And those are also the ones that are in the suburbs. They're middle class. Those are the ones that have those 2.5 average children in the United States. So if we have those teenagers with those drug issues, we have to keep that in a controlled environment because it's my fault. I'm the one that left my Adderall on the table and I passed out because I took my medicine with my wine trying to study for a test. Now my kids are popping pills with their friends at a pool party. And when it comes to a certain class of people, they don't want that information getting out there that my teenage daughter is a drug addict. Mm-hmm. She's just hanging around the wrong people. We're just in the wrong neighborhood. She's listening to the wrong music. It's the games that he's playing. It's everything else but the parents.
That's crazy.
That's a whole fact.
But then when
I remember when they started saying games were bad for the kids. It's all a product of your environment, people, places, and things. Yeah. It's all about how are you being taught? Like when I was growing up, I saw my stepdad beat the shit out of my mom. So I went around beating the shit out of people in school. That's what I saw. My dad would beat the hell out of me, taught me how to fight. I would go beat people up. It's because it's what I learned. And then my stepdad was doing drugs. And so I got into selling the drugs and then doing the drugs. And if I wasn't raised around that, it would have never been that. So Lynn has a super point.
Well, YouTube, I'm going to clarify this for YouTube. We don't condone any violence, YouTube. Let me repeat that again, YouTube. We do not condone violence. We are just speaking. He was telling us a story.
Okay, I was telling you a story of the past. That's why we're in recovery.
We are all influenced one way or another. And then we always have that nature versus nurture situation, and the product of our environments. However, people fail to explain the extent of our environment because our environments are constantly changing. So usually people use those examples in negative situations because just like he used the two situations for some mosquito in here, just like he used those two situations for abuse and drug abuse. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that those same calm qualities and thoughtful qualities, his writing skills, all of those things came from something as well. But I doubt if there's any statistics out there, you know what I'm saying, that's going to say, oh, you're an amazing writer because you were around that somewhere.
Right.
So it's going to be up to us to kind of create that balance and find that, because if we're so latched on to, we do what we saw, whereas for me, I did the opposite of what I saw.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And my mother and my father did drugs. I've never done any drug but weed. Right. I've tasted my products because I'm not going to buy something that's not of good quality. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let nobody rob me. But I made the choice to be the predator, not the prey. Absolutely. You see what I mean? And it wasn't, right now, I'm going to say, yes, it was a bad choice. However, I still had my ethical, moral grounds because I only sold dope to rich white people that had something to lose. That way I can protect myself because I can't sell drugs to black people. Black people don't know how to keep a secret for shit. Okay? You're going to jail. You are going to jail. All right?
That's what I say about white people.
But she's just telling the damn truth.
White people are the same fucking way, dog. It's fucked up.
My clientele, though, was judges, teachers, lawyers,
they
other
can't
medical
tell.
professionals that I used to work with. So they couldn't tell because they had something to lose. You know what I'm saying? And I was the token black girl. I was the black girl that came from the hood, that came from poverty, that got an education. I'm intellectual. I'm different. But they didn't know at home. I'm still a motherfucking hood. I just needed a way out. And I knew there was more. So they connected with me on a different level. And I still had to have some sort of boundary. And then one day I'm like, okay, I got where I needed to go and I can do better. And I chose to do better. My first opportunity to do motivational speaking, I was doing a bid. And I actually shortened my bid because I was doing motivational speaking. My first contract for motivational speaking was with the Women's Correctional Facility, going all up and down the East Coast. That's when I decided to go to school to be a therapist because I needed some fucking therapy. I felt like I was being two-faced. You know what I'm saying?
When was that point, Ms. Lim? When was the point that you just really decided that it hit you that, you know what, that you wanted to be a motivational speaker? When did it really hit you that?
Well, I've been speaking since I was a child because I was always getting myself out of trouble. Like I can sell ice to an ice Eskimo. No,
so you can sell anything, huh?
Like, really. And
yeah,
when you come from such a conflicted environment, you learn how to talk your way out of things.
You have to be.
Because what goes on in your house stays in your house. You're more afraid of your parents and your social living situation than you are from the police. You know what I mean?
That's a whole fact. I lived in the woods from 16 to 19 because I didn't want CYS to know what was going on in my life. So I would wake up in the morning and I would walk to the bus stop, and I had a girlfriend that would do my clothes. She didn't even know where I was. Like, none of that. I wouldn't keep it to anyone. And then cops would see me going out at night. I'd be like, oh, I was just working at my friend's house. I was in the backyard. I'm on my way home. Like, I was always slick. You got to be when you're in those bad pressure situations. And a lot of people like us, we're cut from a different cloth than everyone else because there's a lot of lame ass people out there that go that straight and narrow from a young bull. And we call them lames, I guess you could say it. Like they were given everything. They didn't have bad situations. And when bad situations would hit me, I'd have to think quick.
Yeah.
And then boom.
We had to be on our toes back then, you know, because like we used to call them. We used to call the ones that like that spoon fed. When you ain't spoon fed, you got to learn how to think quick. You got to learn how to, You got to learn how to maneuver.
When you're in a room, you can tell who's real and who's not.
Like they say, real recognize real.
That's a whole fact.
For me, when I was getting therapy in jail, I had a really good job. I would use my work money to take care of everybody else. I don't care if it was my family that needed money, my cousins needed money, somebody needed something. I would use my hustle money. That is what I would save for, my bank account and my clean clothes and all that other stuff. So I felt like I was doing wrong things, but I was doing good work with it. You know what I mean? I was paying my tithes. I was going to church. I was dropping $1,000 in the offering plate. I was buying groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like that made me feel good. You know what I mean? And when I went to jail, people would ask me why I never got phone calls, why I never made phone calls. I would sell my phone calls because I didn't have nobody to call. No one knew where I was. No one knew I was missing. No one missed me. They just missed what I was able to provide for them. And there were no jobs in the jail that I wanted to do. And I'm always the type of person, I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm just going to recreate a position for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you that I don't like that. I'm just going to say, oh, you know what? That over there can use a little bit of shaping. Can I fix that for you? Yeah. I'm going to fix that. Say, wow, that's great. Well, I can do this for you tomorrow as well. It's like I would create things to avoid doing the stuff I didn't want to do. And I would hear the COs, yelling and screaming at the women. And mind you, they were all older than me. I'm in my early 20s. And I would talk to the ladies and I'm like, listen, y'all trying to get conjugal visits and y'all calling these people bitches and hoes and y'all throwing stuff. Like, you're not going to get what you want if you don't know how to talk to people. So when I started speaking, it was more like a hustle. because I'm like, listen, if y'all just work with me, just act like y'all listening, I can get you this. I can get us rec time. I can get us more phone calls. I can get us field trips and shit. It was taking us out to places and, doing things because it was a real correctional facility. They used to actually have corrections in the facilities. They would take
Yeah,
you
they don't
to
have that
places.
shit no more.
Wow.
They don't do
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff
very
anymore.
I
yeah,
just
it's
did
very out
three.
of order.
I just did
It
three. That
started
shit
as a hustle.
horrible.
It started as a hustle. And I would have my group of women. I'm like, listen, act like you guys are freaking listening, man. I can get us anything y'all want. And I would go back and tell the CEOs the same thing. Man, I don't know what y'all going to do with them because I don't even want to be in there. I don't belong in there with those people. I don't feel safe. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And then they're like, well, if you just talk to them, maybe they'll listen to you. And I'm like, I'll try.
Right.
And next thing you know, everybody has what they want because I was a good speaker.
I'm glad that you said that. Well, excuse me, Lynn. You can keep on. You keep going, Miss Lynn.
No, people started offering me money. I was like, I can get paid for this. People paid me for this. I was like, okay, this is something I can take seriously. And I realized that my horrible, tragic story wasn't anything to be ashamed of.
Right.
It was my own therapy by sharing things with people was helping me heal from the things that I was running from.
Right.
So I changed my major when I got to college. I changed my major from cardiology school to psychology. And I was still affiliated. So, hey, had to get it together.
Did you join any frats while you was in?
I'm a Crip. So, no.
She said, "No, I'm a Crip."
Family.
Okay, I'm glad you said that
Family.
because I had a person.
But to YouTube, it's just a story. Yeah,
We just
Hey,
being
it's a
comical.
story.
We are just being comical and we just sharing our little funny stories. Well, with a
pieced
lot of
up.
intellect.
People need
But
to
I had a
realize
young
that
person.
families have such negative connotation, but sometimes that's the only family you have.
That's a whole fact.
So whether you're participating in negative activities, that's still your family.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask both of you all this too also. I had a young person come up to me the other day and he was talking about peer pressures and stuff like that. I think he's kind of like 20 years old. He said he never did any hard drugs. He was only just smoking marijuana, right? He said, but when he did a year in a penitentiary, that's when peer pressure hit him and he tried heroin. He tried heroin on the inside. And when he got out,
Mhm,
he was full blown a heroin addict. So
Yeah.
he wanted me to try to, talk, ask y'all that question.
What's the
What do you think
question?
about, being peer pressured while you're being locked up?
You know, so I was heavy into meth.
Mhm.
I was trying to stay up all the time. I was working a lot, and when I went to jail, it was there. There's more drugs in jail than there are in the streets.
Yeah, I know.
But people don't exactly get pressured to the point because there's a lot of snitches in jail.
Yeah.
So like, I did my 3 upstate, and I know we move different. So like old heads and like the dealers ain't just gonna go up to someone and be like, "Yo, try this shit." Blah 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 blah. They hate this shit. Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure. Because at the end of the day, that person's
you
gonna
got to be
snitch.
able to afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then
Oh
at the
yeah.
same time, the big thing about peer pressure in there is selling that shit. So someone could possibly get like a lame hook. I mean, you got your white boys in there that are like lame as fuck. They'll suck just
Right.
for that shit. And then they'll be giving it and they'll keep giving it to them. It'll be like, here you go, keep taking it, keep taking it. You can have this, you can have this. And then one day they're gonna be like, you owe me. And then they're gonna be like, now you need to sell this. That's the pressure. The pressure isn't them being like, yo, you want some drugs? Because everybody wants fucking drugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell you're addicts. These addicts aren't, I'm not running up to people because I did shit in jail that, you know, I fucking sold shit. I didn't do shit. That's why I'm sober of 6 years. I could have. But at the same time, nobody's just going up to someone and being like, do you want drugs? Motherfuckers are looking for it all over. So the pressure isn't that bad. Nobody's just going to sit there and keep doing it. Where there's drugs, there's going to be a drug addict. So the pressure is not bad. It's actually worse out here on the streets with your friends.
Right.
Well, I
Right.
think it's a double-edged sword. You did mention that he was young, so I'm gonna assume early
Mhm.
20s.
Yeah, he said he was 20,
Now,
early 20s.
now that means that he was probably housed with a mixed group of individuals,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
and a lot of young people are fighting, depression, anxiety, identity crisis, and all of those other things. So his interpretation of pressure, peer pressure, may have just been his acknowledgement of his mental health issues.
Right.
And when you're weak at something and you feel like you need, help, you need that crutch, you need that getaway, you need a break, that mental break. Sometimes it's going to be, drugs, alcohol, sex, or whatever they have access to. However, in a group of younger individuals, I can see, hey man, you need to hit this so we know you legit, because you can't be
Yeah,
with us if you're not with us. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
That do come
that
along with it.
fits
Yeah.
with that
Hmm.
age category.
Hmm.
That
you know,
20-year-old, that 19, 20, like if unless you're with us, you got to be with us all the way. That I
Right.
you know
understand.
what
However,
I used
you're
to
still
run
a
into
grown
a
man
lot
at
of
20.
state.
And I'm thinking it's
I would run into when people would go up to you and be like, yo, try this. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. I used to get a lot of
All
that.
the time. And then
Yeah.
they get them hooked from the gate.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
Yeah.
but
That's so totally
for
true.
me, I think it was different for me because my mom, um, she was the classiest drug addict I ever seen in my life. And I think that's what fucked me up so much, because we always looked at crackheads as people that's walking around in the street sucking dick for crack in the alley. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, my mom is beautiful. She's gorgeous. I mean, she's driving around in a Jaguar with, you know what I'm saying, white walls and, you know what I mean,
Hey, Mama Jones. Hey,
Ins and
Mama Jones.
sequence dresses, know, and we ain't got no water.
All right.
You feel me? Like, but me looking at things that way, I always looked at it like my mother was more of a hustler than she was a drug addict. And I didn't understand, how can people be pressured into a particular drug unless they already had a problem that that drug was supposed to be filling that void for. There had to be something else there, you know what I'm saying, for that drug to fill. That void already had to be there for that drug to fill. Because there's certain parts of my life where I remember my mom was always nice and pretty and shiny, and those were the times where her personality was great. But those are also the times where she was working. And when she wasn't working, when she was having financial issues, that's when, looking back, that's when she would do more drugs. That's when she would disappear. That's when we didn't have food. That's when, she would try to keep us away from our grandmother, so my grandmother wouldn't notice her behaviors, stuff like that. So when I think about these peer pressures, people are really just filling voids,
Right.
and it's a mental health thing.
It really is. It's a lot of things. That's something thing that a lot of us. I told him that I was going to talk about it, so I hope he out there watching it. He told me he was going to be watching today, so I hope he watching it. And he told me his story, and he was like, he called me by my name. He was like, "Well, Boosie, I never thought that I was go in that young and come out addicted to heroin." And it said it took him, like right now he's like 25. He was telling me this when he was like 20. When this happened when he went in when he was 20. So he was like, it took him almost 2 years to really shake that. So he going through trying to, sobriety too, recovery too at the same time.
Is he
So
on it right now?
No. He said he been clean for 2 years.
Good for him. Congratulations if you're watching, bro.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said I was gonna make sure I asked my friends about it and get they take on everything, and maybe he can get something up out of it. So
I look at it like this.
Now, go ahead.
Someone isn't gonna just stop because everyone wants them to.
Right.
When I went to prison,
They have.
yeah. When I went to prison, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I was tired of the headaches. I was tired of not knowing that today was Friday and thinking it was Tuesday. I was done with that shit.
I swear, boy. I swear, brother.
And being in jail, and I saw 64-year-olds acting like they was 16 because they was on some type of crack and killed somebody, and then they didn't know how to act anymore because they got some body at the age of 16 because they're smoking crack. Like, I'm like, I don't want that. I'm better than that. My brain's better than that. I was like, I write better than fucking famous people. Why am I in here? Like, what the fuck is going on? And I couldn't do it anymore. And I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, I'm done. And since that day, I've not touched a drug. I'm sober of hard fucking drugs. And it's been almost 6 years. November 25th will be 6 years.
On my last week's show, we were talking about the fact that a lot of people like to romanticize the thought of it. Like the first example, like when you trying your best to stay clean. I had asked him, "How is it like to stay clean?" And he has told me, basically try not to romanticize it. You know what I mean? When you start thinking how I feel or how I used to feel. Just try to stay away from that. What y'all think about that?
About getting it is what they romanticize about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about picking it up, who they're gonna call, how they're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, like for me, being on the other side and
I was on the other side too, though. I understand.
But that's the thing, because I was never an addict, but I was raised around addicts. And I chose to be the predator and not the prey. Living a clean life is like recovery. Because waiting for a fucking check, because you're honest, because you're a tax-paying citizen, when you can just go sell some dope.
I fucking understand.
Like you can go sell some ass and you can be living the life of your dreams. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where you have to have that ethical and that moral compass and understand that the things that you're doing are preparing you for the things that are coming later, that big picture. The easy stuff isn't going to last long. The fast things expire quickly. And, that pleasure that you get out of the journey, knowing that, hey, I didn't fall down. Hey, I didn't break. Hey, I made it. Those are the pleasures that I get now that are priceless. But every once in a while, I get those phone calls from people that I haven't talked to in a while. And they're like, hey, and then, they call you from your old name.
I used to go by Trey. And then I hear Trey, I'm like.
Name, right. You get that old name. Hey, yo, TJ, what's up? Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I'm about to come through your city, man. I'm coming through your town. Oh, what's good, man? And I'm like, hey,
what you got?
Gotta go to work, All right, but I'm gonna be out there, making some runs. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put you in. All right,
Are you trying to get a seat?
How's the kid? All right, I gotta go.
And then you on the other line, like, damn it!
I swear,
I could be making this bread.
So the moment where things used to fall in my lap, I never had to look.
Hey, yo, not to cut you off. I have to go. I have to do some shit. It's 7 o'clock here. So,
Okay.
yo, I love talking with you guys. We got to do this again.
Appreciate it, Richard. You stay
Absolutely.
up, brother.
Yo, thank you for having
Yep.
me so much.
No problem.
All right, I'm gonna be back.
I got you.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Talk to
I
me.
tell people all the time that having that balance and knowing where you came from and the purpose of where you're going makes it worth it. You know what I mean? Because when stuff just falls in your lap, you get them phone calls. Hey man, I'm on my way. So such. I just need you to hold something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break you off.
Mhm.
No, but really, it just falls in your lap. It's like what they say. It
Yeah.
just falls off the truck. You know what I
It,
mean?
it- when it
But
comes to you, it's crazy. And we was also talking about that also because he was saying getting rid of those old numbers in your phone.
mhm,
He was like getting rid of those old numbers and the phone itself. Because like you just said, you would just get a call out the blue, and you are you
mhm,
trying to do right? You know, I'm trying to do right, and who is this number? What's up, my
right. So
boy?
like
Yeah.
for me, my biological father is in prison. He's been in prison most of my life, and he can only change his phone list once a year. So if I change my phone number, there's no communication. And if something happens, the jail can't tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But when those phone calls come and you're proud of yourself, that's when you really know your value because I'm not her. You know, I'm who I am now. That person is way gone. That,
Right.
that hustling person, that slick person, that scamming person, that manipulating, I'm cute. I can get through with my product because I'm
Mhm.
a whole bitch. You know what I mean? Ain't
Mhm.
nobody looking at me. They looking at y'all, not me. Like those days are appreciated, but I'm blessed because I'm here and I'm here and I'm influencing people. I'm counseling people. I'm giving people therapy and I'm coaching people, and people call me for advice. And if I didn't go through the things that I went through, I wouldn't be able to connect with the individuals that need me.
I'm so glad you blessed me today. I needed your intellect on this one today, so you know I had to call you.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
When people tell you not to be, not to look forward to being YouTube famous and all that other stuff. How does that make you feel?
Uh, no, it don't make me feel down in that aspect. You know what? It really motivates me because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, I know that that ain't not what I'm trying to do it for. They just give me more ideas. They just let me know that they're watching, and that's the whole thing about it from the get go is to make some noise with this YouTube channel. See, when I was able to go live, you need a certain amount of subscribers to be able to go live on YouTube. You can have a YouTube channel, but I think it starts around with 400 subscribers or 300 subscribers. That's when you can go live. So when I was able to go live, I said, you know what? Instead of me just doing my little random little TikTok thing, because that's really what my channel was at first. It was just me uploading my little TikTok stuff until I decided I was like, you know what? I can really get on here and just try to speak to people about my addiction. And then it hit me. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna start doing. So when they let me know that, they let me know they watching, and they also just give me this added motivation. This is added motivation for me to have more guests on the show to come up with better topics. To just to keep pushing because that's the whole thing about it from the get go. As long as I keep them talking, like one of my brothers told me this. He said, "Nah, man, what you're doing right now, you are helping people, whether you believe it or not." He said, "You just let them keep talking, and you just keep doing you." So that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
Well, that is definitely a delight to hear.
Thank you.
Because for me, it made me feel bad for being
Right.
good.
Right. Yeah. It kind of.
You know
I
what I
had to
mean?
at first. Yeah. I looked at my wife like, why? Why is this? I'm like, why would they actually think that? You know what I mean? It's like instead of just being happy, but that's the first thing that would come out their mouth. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. But
I get
okay,
it.
yeah,
When I was in the street doing different things, I was never a bragger. I was always been smart about the things that I've done. But people ain't stupid. You know what I mean?
right,
You don't just ask me to borrow $3,000 and I go get it out of the shoebox.
right.
You feel me?
Mm,
But I never got any slack about that. However, when I'm living in my car because I can't afford my rent, because I'm paying my own tuition and buying books, now it's, oh, you think you smart. Or you trying to be all off in college and shit. Man,
right. You
it's
know
like,
how they do. Yeah,
hold on. I'm
like
trying
to
to
better
make
yourself, right?
a transition in my life, but I'm getting slack, you know?
Yeah,
Um, and a lot of people, like, I never really told people what I went to school for because I didn't go to school to work for other people.
right.
I went to school so I can be qualified to help my people.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And when I started my TV show, and someone looked at my backdrop and they was like, "Wow, I didn't know you went to school for psychology." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, then. I guess I'm just gonna have to treat you different." And,
Mm-hmm.
but why? You've been
Yeah.
knowing me for 6, 7 years. She was like,
They
"Yeah, and
see.
I ain't know you was no doctor either."
Yeah, when
You
they
know,
see the accolades, yeah, got to treat you some type of way with the
but my
accolades. Yeah.
thing is, those things didn't change my character. It doesn't change who I am. I just went and got a whole bunch of books, took a whole lot of tests, a
Mhm.
whole lot of money, so I can qualify myself to be equipped to help people like me,
Right.
people like you,
Right.
people that I can identify with, because those books are not going to dig into the traumas that we've also collectively shared, you know. And when you're a drug addict or a drug dealer, no one says anything.
No, they don't.
But when you're trying to do something right, it's
That's
like,
when. Yeah.
oh, your little
Yeah.
YouTube channel and shit. You're like,
Yeah. I knew it was coming though. I just didn't know it was gonna come that quick.
well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And like I said before, when we were first acquainted,
Mm-hmm.
um, your very first episode,
Mm-hmm.
I was telling someone about. And that individual, she was like, "Wow, I didn't know you grew up that way. I didn't know that, your parents were drug dealers and drug addicts. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
you came from a single mom household." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I was so ashamed of my past. I didn't share that
Mm-hmm.
with people. Like,
Right.
unless you grew up where I grew up at, it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that you were bragging about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So because we don't let people into our circles, we don't have trust of people. We're too busy on a mission trying to transform ourselves into a higher self, that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we lose ourself as well.
Right.
And there's so many of us that do go out there and get that higher education. They don't look back. They don't help people. People go out there and they get clean. They don't help people. They don't minister to people. Their therapy is different. And some
Mm-hmm.
people have that closed door policy. Once that portion of their life is closed, they don't speak about it anymore. They don't talk about it. They don't want to be around it. They don't want to be around those type of people. And my mother is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a discussion about someone that she was seeing, and he had a drug problem. And I just wanted to know from her, I'm like, well, you dumped him. And mind you, he's in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you dumped him because he has a drug problem. She was like, I can't deal with that in my life. What kind of motherfucker, this, that. And I'm like, but you had a drug problem.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Right. That's
For
like you said.
her, right. But for her, because that door is closed for her,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want to relive that. But to me, you don't put nobody else down and make yourself look better
Yeah.
When that person feels like they can't measure up to you, not knowing that
Right.
you used to be there. And
Yeah.
sometimes just sharing that information is enough to make people feel like they can hold on.
Yeah. That was my thing too, because the certain individual that was saying it, been through it, been to recovery, been to treatments 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And you should know that by what I am doing, you should know that, okay, maybe this is his advice. Maybe this is working for him. How could I be telling him to stop what he doing and that is working for him? Now, make that
Just
make
like I
sense.
had to
Yeah.
learn,
Yeah.
just like I had to learn, everyone's therapy is different.
Right.
And some of us are in denial, some of us are not, some of us are boisterous. You have different types of activists. You
Hmm.
have HIV activists, you have LGBTQ activists, you have other people that don't even want to come out of the closet.
Right.
You know, you have, Black activists that are out there that are fighting for, rights for civil rights for African Americans, but they're married to white people. So there's
Right.
all these different societal conflicts, and some people are just don't heal the same. Some people don't provide themselves therapy the same. And
Right.
one of the things that I live by, the best success is your successor,
Ooh, I like
because
how you said that.
you can act like you're healed. You can walk like you're healed. But until you practice that healing and that can reflect on someone else, are you really okay? Or
Right.
are we just conditioned to bury things and hide things and keep it pushing? Because people tell us all the time, you're so strong. We're not.
You're right.
We're resilient.
You're
We're
right.
survivors. Like we
Thank you.
just didn't die.
Like I say, I love to have you on the show at any time. Well, I'd like you for the viewers or anything with a real life to black perspective. Y'all have anything coming up?
Yes. So we last week we just did a episode interviewing Mr. David Sawyers. He
Okay.
owns a nonprofit organization called Unleash
Hmm.
Fitness. And he's raising some money right now. So I'm going to be posting some stuff on the website, on the Facebook page for
Hmm.
his campaign information so people can contribute and donate. It is a youth program. We also have some castings and things coming up with some production partners for the TV show, and the King TV network has partnered with Real Life, the Black Perspective, to
Okay.
broaden our thank you to
Thank
broaden
you.
our reach, to people. And then, of course, we always have our Black Wall Street networking events at Vibes Atlanta on Thursdays at Stonecrest, 7300 Stonecrest Concourse in
That why,
Stonecrest, Georgia.
that why I say you always moving and grooving. You always tagging me them links. I be like, this girl be here, she be here. You be moving and grooving, girl. You be getting it
My
in.
thing is, I just feel like the power in networking is something that white people harnessed that we
Hmm.
didn't.
You right.
We don't have to know everything. We don't
Hmm.
have to know, we don't have to have all the money. We just have to have the resources. And if we turned our network of individuals and associates into our resources, it's not going to be about what we don't have anymore,
Right.
you know? Because
Thank
now I don't have to have, a YouTube show.
you. Hmm.
I can have your show and
Right.
say, hey, you know what? I have someone that's speaking, about recovery. Go over there and watch that. I don't need to
Right.
incorporate recovery in Real Life, the Black Perspective,
Right.
because someone that I trust that's, putting that out there, I can shift that your way. That's
Right.
one less thing I have to do, you
Right.
know? And if we turn that into the network and everybody was doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that,
Hmm.
more people can be engaged and more people can have help.
You're right. You're totally right. Well, thank you again for blessing me. It's always a pleasure, Miss Lynn.
You are more
Thank
than
you.
welcome. Congratulations to you and your wife and your lovely addition to your
Thank
family.
you.
The
Thank
pictures
you so
are
much.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I sure would tell her that also. Thank you.
Please
Until next
do.
time.
All right.
Thank.
Enjoy
But
your
y'all,
evening.
everybody, this is Miss Lynn Jones. Real life black perspective, y'all.
Real life
You know,
black
you
perspective.
know she gonna bring that fire, y'all. So thank you, Miss Lynn, for joining me.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, everybody. Another one. Let the drums roll. Boom. That's another show, y'all. Down in the mix, y'all. Thanks, Lynn. Thank you, Richie, for tuning in with me today. Thank you, everybody out there that also tuned in and also watched. Like I said, if you just tuning in to my show right now, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever I drop new content, whenever I drop new videos, so you can get notified when I go live. Thanks, everybody, for your support. Everybody out there that be supporting me, thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. But one thing about it, I will not let them hush me. I will continue to share my story. This is my voice. This is my channel. This is my platform. This is Mr. Show Out TV. And this is what I stand on. This is what I believe in. And this is what I'm passionate about. So there you have it. Mr. Show Out TV. Another episode. One for history, baby. We're making big things happen, man. If y'all trying to reach me right now, if you want to be a guest speaker on my show, hit me up. It's showoutmedia@mail.com. That's showoutmedia@mail.com. Hit me with a message. Email me there, and I can have you on the show as a guest speaker. We're doing big things in 2022, y'all. Ain't no stopping right now. Ain't no stopping. Thank you to everybody that continues to support me in what I am trying to do. The message is still the same. We trying to help those in addiction. We spreading the message. We trying to inspire those and also give them help at the same time. So continue to subscribe, continue to like, and continue to share my videos. That's what we're doing with the Show Out TV. Thanks to everybody that was watching today. Till next time, Mr. Show Out TV. Yeah.
Like I said, it's just my thing is
I'm trying to help these young people. You know, I've done extensive.
As far as we go, a lot of our friends dead. They are dead. God froze up on my hand too. But I also want to tell you this.
don't about abuse. We don't talk about those things because deep down it's been generationally passed down to us that ain't nobody trying to hear your motherfucking problem.